now, The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Here's your host, Sabrina Turner.
Good morning, Cayman, and welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. Want to learn more about Bailamos Dance Studio? Interested in learning a new dance? Looking for information on their main services? Well, you got to stay tuned as I chat with Miss Doris Castro from Bailamos Dance Studio, and she's brought along with her a hip-hop teacher, Miss Ruth Simpson, and also a grandparent of one of her students, Miss Glenita Whitaker. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to your show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, the Business Buzz is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday and is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. Without further ado, I'm going to ask these ladies, let's give us some history. Let us know more about Bailamos Dance Studio.
Good morning. My name is Doris Castro. I am from the Dominican Republic. I have been dancing for the past 10 years. Bailamos Dance Studio, our mission is to promote leadership and teamwork. We want to inspire every student to find the creativity inside themselves.
How have you gotten involved? How did you first get involved with the art form of dance?
Well, believe it or not, when I was 5 years old, I fell in love with the dance. My mother let me follow my dreams. So then I learned hip hop, contemporary, and ballet, and I get my professional certificate. After that, I went to Spain for 3 years, and I became a choreographer. Well, I came to Cayman, and I was working for another dance school for 2 years. So now I am in this new project.
Okay, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What are the various styles of dance that are taught at Bailamos Dance Studio? The various styles that are taught at the studio?
Well, we have a different style. We have hip-hop, contemporary, ballet. We have a tango. We have a different style of dance. Bailamos Dance Studio is really important for them. It's not just about how to learn dance. It's about the art of dance.
Okay. There's a big difference in just getting out there and understanding the art. Now, you're talking about choreography and all that sort of stuff. When you just go out there to have fun, does anybody even think about that, or do you have to really listen to get in the mood?
Well, it's like you need to, it's like the language that you connect with others. It's how you can express yourself. It's the passion. It's more than dance.
You got to come within.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, who is Bailamos Dance Studio for? Is there a particular age, or it doesn't matter? Anyone who wants to know?
It doesn't matter. It's for everyone. Children's, adults. It's for everyone.
How flexible are the class offerings? How flexible? Is there a schedule? Are you quite rigid, or are you willing to work with people?
Bailamos Dance Studio, we want to be flexible. For example, with adults, we want to be flexible with their work time, and with the children's, well, when they finish the school, so we have 1 hour for them, just 2 days per week.
Now, what is an average class size? Do you have a limit on how much students or persons per class?
Yes, ma'am. We have a limit because the space is not too big. So I want to help each student, everyone. I don't
one
want
on
to,
one.
Yeah, I don't want to get a lot of children and then I don't pay attention, I need to help them. I want to focus in each of them.
You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we put the spotlight in here. More about Bailamos Dance Studio that is located at 24 Hulda Avenue. Many of you may know Mr. Barnett's building. That is where it's located. Their phone number is 917-7832. Now, what should persons wear to class for their attire? Is there a uniform? Is there a dress code? What is expected of your students?
Yes, ma'am. For example, for the children, they need to wear uniform with the logo, with the school logo, and the costume is really comfortable for dance. Mm-hmm. For adults, for example, for Zumba classes, they need to wear like a sport costumes.
Now, in your whole career, taking it now from being a student yourself to now managing a business, what do you feel are the most important aspects of dance?
Well, as I mentioned it before, the most important aspect is the passion, is the discipline, the respect, is how when you dance you can connect with the others. Mm-hmm. Is when you express yourself. It's like when it's not just dance, it's communication. It's more than that.
I always admire people from the Latin countries, the way they almost seem to levitate across a dance floor, especially when their genre of music comes in. Bailamo and Despacito and Isabella is my favorite.
Wow.
And I just melt away. Now, I have no clue of what I'm doing, but I actually melt away in that music. And for some reason, just like what you're saying, you become a part of the whole feeling.
Yes, Mom.
Yes, you do.
And you just levitate on the floor. I may not be getting the 1-2 and you twist and all that in the high heel shoes. I'll probably never walk the next day. But I totally relate to you when you say you immerse yourself and you get that feeling. Now, that's something people from your country looks as though they're born with. How can you teach that to someone from a different culture? Is it easy? Have you found it difficult to convert me who used to the calypso, that sort of stuff? Is it a difficult transition?
Well, I think when something coming natural from you, it's not difficult. When you want something, you just need to fight for that. And when I was 5 years old,
you did it.
I did it. My mom just let me to follow my dreams, and I do the rest.
Well, I'll never give up my dream. I always wanted to be a ballerina.
Yeah, you can do that.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be speaking to grandparent of one of the students of Bailamos Dance Studio. Keep it locked to the Business Buzz for more after these few messages.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Affectionately known as Miss Kippy, Muriel Sims was a very humble person who had a passion for teaching and taught children at her residence on Goring Avenue, Georgetown, until children attended government school at the age of 7. Her classes were held outside without seating, and children wrote on slates instead of blackboards. At times, there would be 10 to 12 students attending classes, which were held under a tree, and throughout the day, the students would shift around according to the sun. The cost was £0.01 per child per day, although Miss Kippy turned no child away. For those who knew her best, Miss Kippy was kind, inspiring, pure, purposeful, and yearning always to better the community in which she lived, whether imparting knowledge to children or wishing the best for her fellow man. Information from this historical vignette was sourced from the Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Radio Cayman's historical facts vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Cayman Medical Supplies, now providing Cayman Brac with medical supplies. Call 949-6211. And Cayman Medical Supplies will arrange to ship from wheelchairs and walkers to all kinds of medical supplies. Your order will be shipped to you either by Cayman Airways or Thompson Shipping for one agreed upon price. Telephone 949-6211. Cayman Medical Supplies, located at number 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, providing quality pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and consumer products to healthcare providers, retailers, and ultimately the patients at a reasonable rate in a friendly, caring, and timely manner.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we keep the spotlight on Bailamos Dance Studio, which is owned by Terry Ebanks and managed by Doris Castro. Recently opened, and the dance studio is located in the Barnett Building right next to the Red Cross. They seek to help young children reach their dreams through the art of dance. Bailamos Dance Studio will teach to youth discipline through dance, teaching them and understanding the various cultures through dance, letting them express their feelings and converting them into positive vibes as means of communication and personal development while learning techniques of various dances. In studio, I am pleased to be joined by Miss Doris Castro herself, and we also have hip-hop teacher Miss Ruth Simpson, who we will hear from later. And right now we're going to speak to a grandparent and also a student I'm learning off air, Miss Glenita Whitaker. What made you choose Bailamos Dance Studio for your grandchild?
My grandson is half Dominican.
Ah.
I think it's very important for him to learn a part of his culture. Mm-hmm. I saw him dancing at a quinceañera, which he had rehearsed, and I was ashamed. Sorry. The boy didn't have no rhythm. So it's important for me to have him embrace that and to also, embrace our culture and have the rhythm.
Now, I understand you're also a student.
Yes, I am.
What led you to become a student?
I would love to learn the techniques of Latin dances.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever at all a little apprehensive in going into learning this genre, just looking at how the movement of the body is?
Never.
Never?
No, being a true Caribbean girl, I've been dancing since my little feet could move.
Good girl. How beneficial has it been for your grandson as it relates to dance? Have you seen a difference?
Yes, it helps him. The discipline of having to count, learning the steps is also beneficial in his studies. Mm-hmm. It's helping him to focus and to be disciplined in the time that he has to put in. He's 15. Okay. It's a difficult age.
I know. What would you say to other parents who may be thinking about signing up their children for dance lessons and understanding, as a grandson, kudos to you for doing that, because there's a stigma that comes along with pushing boys into dance.
Pushing boys, yes.
Yes.
Well, if you want those little girls to dance with them, they better learn those moves. I can't wait till my granddaughter, who is turning 3, her name is Isabella.
Oh, interesting.
By the way, I got that calypso made just for her.
Okay.
To start, because, I can see it in her, already twirling. And it's very important for kids to have music and dance. It's a way for them to express themselves, to get out, to exercise, because nowadays with the remote control for TVs, video games, it's not like when we were growing up in Cayman, we were always out climbing trees doing stuff, but nowadays things are more inside. So this is also a way for them to exercise.
Now tell us about the hip hop genre.
So hip hop's quite different to actually Latin in terms of where it came out from. So Latin, it's all about technique and it is very skillful. And hip hop's quite interesting because I think people are used to seeing it on music videos and it looks really cool, but actually it's really, really simple. So we had our first beginners class this week that went really well. 2 people that had never done hip hop before and they'd seen us rehearsing something else and looked mortified. And I was like, we're going to walk through it step by step. And because hip hop came kind of from the streets, it didn't come from professional dance schools.
Right.
It came from people that were just learning to pop and lock and do isolations. And so teaching that, it's a really fun class because it is less about specific technique. It is more, okay, what's this music saying to you? How do we feel it? How do we embrace it? How do we move to it? So I always say I find flamenco, for example, really, really difficult because I'm used to just like busting a move and doing whatever. So switching into flamenco is super, super difficult for me. But hip hop is a fun class to come to.
Now, when you look at different genres that you actually teach in your class, can someone sign up for just hip hop, or does it help to know, let's say, a little bit of bachata, a little bit of other genres to then fine tune the specific genre that you want to know how to dance? Example, hip hop. Do you need to know a little bit of flamenco, a little bit of bachata to really fine tune that hip hop?
It depends. So I'm actually formally trained in ballet, tap, jazz. So my background's very, very different to what I do now. And I think part of it does help. But I think the beauty with starting with hip hop is it doesn't require so much technique. So it's a little bit easier to pick up if you've never danced before and don't have any background.
Okay.
But flipping between the different styles of dance. I mean, I'm a dancer, so I love all forms of dance. And I think there is some kind of benefit in going between salsa or even zumba, because zumba is really fun. It's like an exercise class,
right,
but with some salsa steps thrown in. So you don't have to. You could just do one class. But I mean, I'm a dancer, so I'm always like, do everything, try it, see what you like.
Yeah.
Now, for someone who has not been to your studio, what is the atmosphere like? Coming through those doors for the first time, what can people expect?
The most important that you need to stay in the environment, positive environment. So when sometimes people come to the studio just for practice, but you can perceive in her eyes, or I don't know, this expression, the person, they are like down or don't feel good. And then when you are teach them and you see how that person can become in another person, you know, it's like really positive for you. You feel like happy. Oh my God, how just the dance can do that. Just can become sadness in happiness.
Okay. Now, did you have to outfit the space in order to be able to teach dance? Like the type of flooring, the lighting, everything, temperature?
Yes, man. For us, especially the floor is the most important. The floor is like properly for dance. It's wood floor. So when you jump, when you turn, you can feel flexible and you can feel good.
I guess there are a lot of mirrors as well, so that you can see.
Well, let me tell you something. This is good too. But for example, if I am teaching a dance, I can see you.
So we can't tell any
So
kind of shortcut.
Yeah, but if you don't have the mirror, just I don't focus in my dance because you are by my side dancing. So it's important, but not really important. Floor is the most important.
Okay. What are your hours of operation? What days do you open and the times?
Every day except Sundays. For example, with the children, we have 2 days per week, 1 hour. For adults, we have from Mondays to Saturday, from 1 hour to.
Okay, so what time did the doors open?
The doors open from 10 o'clock in the morning and we close 8 in the night.
In the evenings. And you offer private lessons as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, would you prefer persons to reach out to you? How would you prefer persons to reach out to you if they want additional information?
Well, if you want additional information from me, you can contact me to my number phone, 917-7832. We have a Facebook page too. Is Bailamos Cayman 19. Or Instagram, Bailamos KY.
You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz that is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Give them a call 949-6211 and Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. More on Bailamos Dance Studio after these few messages.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give me praise to the Lord.
United in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. It's a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we gonna put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, and we keep the spotlight on Bailamos Dance Studio. Now, how can persons register for classes? What are the instructions in order to get registered or to just start getting classes?
Yes, ma'am. The person can sign up. They can go to, we have office in a Barnett building next to the Red Cross. They can contact me to my number phone, 917-7832, or email me to bailamoscayman19@hotmail.com.
Now, how affordable are the dance classes? Does it depend on what you want? Does it depend on age? What are the price ranges?
We have a fee per month, especially for children.
Okay.
Is $75 per month. But if it's brothers, sister, or family, we are flexible in the cost.
Okay.
They can get a discount. For adult, for example, Zumba classes is just $10 per person.
And that's per class?
Per class, yes, ma'am, per class, sorry. It's per class. And hip-hop classes, tango, flamenco. This is private lessons.
Okay. Yeah, I would need a lot of private lessons until I get that down pat. Well, what would you like to leave? What main points would you like to leave with our listening and viewing audience this morning as a recap on the main points of Bailamos Dance Studio? I'll start with Miss Whitaker.
Well,
let me just, and then I'll come around.
Come on over and sign up, and it's a fun way to lose weight. It's great. It's something you can do with your grandkids or kids as well.
Miss Hip Hop?
Yeah, come down. It's fun. And even if you've never danced before and just want to try it out for the first time, it's a really easygoing, relaxed, really friendly environment. So come down and try it out.
Okay. And repeat your days that you're open and your contact numbers.
Yes, ma'am. We are open from Monday until Saturdays, My contact number is 917-7832. My email address is bailamoskaiman19 at hotmail.com.
Okay. Well, ladies, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for allowing us here on Radio Cayman's Business Buzz to put the spotlight on Bailama's studio, dance studio, and I wish you all success. And I hope that Susan and I will get the nerve to just down pat this bachata.
Yes,
and whatever that style of music that goes with Isabella. Whatever that is, because that's my favorite, and I'm just doing my own thing on the dance floor.
Isabella.
That's right. Well, it is indeed a pleasure, and all success to you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Stay tuned for more of the Business Buzz after the 8 o'clock news and a weather update when we'll be putting the spotlight on O.A. Williams Consulting. Over to you, Susan.
The festive season was festive, so it's time to give your body the love and attention it deserves. At Foster's Cabana Bay, you'll find the largest selection of organic, fresh produce, vitamins, supplements, nutritional powders, and more for any diet and lifestyle. Stop by the Bay Market Cafe for fresh juices and smoothies, a healthy, made-to-order meal from one of the service counters, or kombucha on tap from Saucha. Foster's Cabana Bay and Bay Market Cafe. Better because we care.
Studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
Isabella.
ValueMed Pharmacy is your community care partner for health and wellness needs. We offer convenient prescription processing at the counter and online at value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com, with pickup available at the Walkers Road or Boddentown location. We also accept transfer prescriptions from other pharmacies. More than just a pharmacy, shop ValueMed for personal care and beauty products from trusted brands, perfume and gift sets, Hallmark and greeting cards, baby clothes, footwear, handbags, swimwear, home decor, toys, school supplies, and stationery. And home convalescence aids like wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, and hospital beds. With 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and in Evron Plaza, Boddentown. Visit ValueMed, more than just a pharmacy.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. On January 9th, the Civil Aviation Authority discovered a disabled drone within the perimeter of the Owen Roberts International Airport. This has prompted the CAA to release a safety advisory reminding the public that not only is it prohibited to fly any form of unmanned aircraft within 3 nautical miles of the airport or Cayman Bracs Airport, but it is also extremely dangerous. The CAA asked the public to report any drone activity within the vicinity of the airports to the Operations Command Center on 244-5835. The Port Authority of the Cayman Islands confirms that its Deputy Director Chief Financial Officer James Parsons retired effective December 24th. In a short statement, the board and management extended its appreciation to Mr. Parsons for his many years of dedicated service. And need help getting rid of that real Christmas tree? Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego has more on how the Department of Environmental Health can help you with that.
The Department of Environmental Health, DEH, is encouraging all residents who purchased natural Christmas tree to take part in its annual Christmas tree recycling program. Bins have now been placed for members of the public to drop off the trees. The locations include Spots Dock, the Cricket Grounds in Georgetown, and the Georgetown Landfill 24-hour drop-off site. Those participating in the Christmas tree recycling program are asked to remove all wires and ornaments from the trees before placing them in collection bins. The DEH says trees will be collected and mulched in the landfill and then taken to the Cricket Grounds next to the Farmers Market in Georgetown for public collection on Saturday, January 25th, starting at 8 a.m. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
For more information, the DEH can be reached at 949-6696 or by emailing dehcustomerservice@gov.ky. In regional news, the Jamaica Gleaner is reporting that United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be in Jamaica on a 2-day working visit beginning January 21st. He's set to have meetings with Prime Minister Andrew Holness and several other Caribbean leaders. Pompeo is expected to discuss matters pertaining to the recent flare-up in the Middle East and outstanding issues relating to Venezuela. His visit comes almost a year after 5 Caribbean leaders flew to Mar-a-Lago Estate to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with David Harper. Iran has made its first arrests in connection with the accidental shooting down of a passenger plane by an Iranian missile last week. The government said several people had been detained but gave no details. President Hassan Rouhani said everyone responsible must be punished for what he called an unforgivable mistake. Turkey has warned that it will teach a lesson to the Libyan warlord Khalifa Haftar if he resumes an offensive against Libya's UN-backed government in Tripoli. The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan made the threat after General Haftar abandoned peace talks in Moscow. A former Roman Catholic priest in France who is accused of sexually assaulting dozens of Boy Scouts has gone on trial in Lyon. Bernard Prénat, who was stripped of his clerical status last year, has acknowledged that he was guilty of causing suffering. A year ago, the Archbishop of Lyon, Philippe Barbarin, was found guilty of covering up the scandal. Officials in Pakistan say as many as 75 people are now known to have died as a result of unusually heavy snow and rain. More than 50 were killed in Pakistani-administered Kashmir, where avalanches have been reported. Police in Lesotho are appealing for help in locating the Prime Minister's wife, who is wanted for questioning in connection with the murder of her husband's first wife. A government spokesman says no one knows where Mayasaya Fabane and the police are ready to ask Interpol to arrest her. Hungary has been warned by the European Court of Justice that a law forcing charities to name their international donors is in breach of EU rules. Hungary introduced the law in 2017 in an apparent attempt to target the US-based billionaire George Soros. The Australian Open tennis tournament has been disrupted by the country's huge bushfires. One player retired during a qualifying match after a coughing fit. Air quality in the host city Melbourne has been ranked hazardous. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by Value Med Pharmacy, with 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and an Evron Plaza, Bodentown. Visit Value Med, more than just a pharmacy. Value Med Pharmacy is your community care partner for health and wellness needs. We offer convenient prescription processing at the counter and online at value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com, with pickup available at the Walkers Road or Bodentown location. We also accept transfer prescriptions from other pharmacies. More than just a pharmacy, shop Value Med for personal care and beauty products from trusted brands, perfume and gift sets, Hallmark and greeting cards, baby clothes, footwear, handbags, swimwear, home decor, toys, school supplies, and stationery. And home convalescence aids like wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, and hospital beds. With 2 locations to serve you, Walkers Road in Georgetown and in Evron Plaza, Bodentown. Visit Value Med, more than just a pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
A pleasant good morning. Time now for the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 90%. Barometric pressure 30.08 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 7 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate fresh easterly winds and rough seas will continue for the next 24 hours as a high pressure system moves over the western Atlantic Ocean with a tight pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show westward moving showers in and around the Cayman Islands. Now the forecast for today and tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the low 80s today and will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet, especially along the south and east coast. Small craft warning remains in effect for today and tonight as well. Today's high tide will occur this afternoon at 12:28, low tide tonight at 7:14. The sun will set this evening at 6 minutes past 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 2 minutes after 7. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center was the proud sponsor of the Weather Report, your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Super Stitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Superstitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Superstitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky. The 8:12 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center. Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center is your one-stop shop for all of your sewing and alterations, fabrics, household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations. Call Superstitch at 949-2833 or email customercare@superstitch.com.ky. Superstitch, located 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road, still offering the best prices in town.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic flowing lightly on Owen Roberts Drive and busy traffic on Shamrock Road. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway. Delays expected. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing moderately. And steady but flowing traffic on Godfrey Dixon Way, Eastern Avenue, moderate flow of traffic. In and out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, things looking pretty good as traffic flowing nicely. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. And on North Sound Road, traffic flowing moderately. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll update you once again with another traffic report. Have a good morning and click it or ticket.
Do you ever have those days when you have to get a super early start? Or you're out late and want something fresh and healthy to eat? Subway has now opened their 4th 24-hour location for you early birds and night owls. Subway at West Shore Center on 7 Mile is now open 24 hours. So now you can grab any of Subway's fresh menu items any time of the day at 4 convenient locations. West Shore Center 7 Mile, Countryside in Savannah, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers West Bay. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Good morning and welcome back to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. Business Buzz again is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. In this segment, I am pleased to put the spotlight on O.A. Williams Consulting, and we want to hear from them as we learn more about the company's services. I am pleased to be joined by Mr. Orman Williams, Managing Director and Principal Consultant of O.A. Williams Consulting. Good morning, Mr. Williams, and welcome to our show.
Good morning, Sabrina. Delighted to be here with you this morning.
Yes, to hear more about all that you have in store and what's going on at O.A. Williams Consulting. But before, let's get a little bit and tell us more about the company. Share a little bit on how you were drawn to open this type of business here in the Cayman Islands.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity to spend some time with you and with your listeners. And maybe I should share a little bit about myself as well. I guess most people who know me will know me in the context of a banker. Mm-hmm. I've been doing banking for close to 40 years. I guess I just disclose how old I am. And I've had the privilege and the honor of working in 5 countries. Cayman is home for us. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've been able to do over the years, particularly in my senior management roles, is to really work with people to help develop them, to help them see the best in themselves, and to help them move from accepting mediocrity and average work to fulfilling their true potential. Mm-hmm. I believe that we all were created with a purpose, and that we have to find that out early. And once we have found that out, how do we work steadfastly to achieve that objective? So it was out of that context that O.A. Williams Consulting was born. It follows what I understand my purpose to be, which is to add value and to make a difference in people's lives. And more so, how do I help people to become better leaders?
Right.
And we'll talk a little bit later
Definitely.
on about leadership.
Well, definitely, we can go straight into that. Explain about what is involved in your leadership development services.
Well, if we start on the premise that that we were not born as leaders, that we have in us the sort of core things necessary for us to develop leadership qualities, then we can't leave a leadership development to chance. And if you look at a number of business places, today you're a good technical person, tomorrow you're a manager, the next day you're a leader. And we haven't really done much to help people transition from being technically or operationally sound to leading a department, to leading a team of people. Yeah. And so we're a little bit surprised sometimes when we see the results. How is it that we're not achieving as much as we should, or as much as we could achieve? And it's because we have not prepared our people for leadership. We think it's going to happen overnight, but we just cannot leave it to accident or leave it to chance.
Right.
And so I want to help organizations and individuals to be a bit more intentional around leadership development. So what we can do for people is to go into organizations, understand, so do you have young leaders who have not been trained? Do you have middle management who need a refresher? Do you have senior management who need to be challenged? So we go in and we sit down, we understand where you're trying to get to as an organization, and then we create programs that will help you achieve that. So there is no cookie cutter approach.
Right.
Everything is tailored to the needs of the organizations that we serve.
Now, what are your thoughts on leadership overall?
Oh, do we have the whole day?
You may have to come back.
We have to come back. You know, a dear friend of mine has said in the past that everything rises and falls on leadership. The issue in our world today is not that we have an absence of resources. There resources abound. The issue really is leadership. You can take a bad company and give it to a good leader, and that person will turn it around. But equally, you can take a good company and give it to a terrible person, and they will destroy it.
Yes.
So leadership is critical. And what are we looking for in our leaders? If we consider that leadership is influence, then we want our leaders to be people of character, people of integrity, people of vision, people who could empathize. I mean, those are some of the qualities. In the old days, and I really want to call it the old days, we used to call those soft skills. But the research is now showing that unless you have these skills, no leader will be effective. The old days of command and control, I am the leader here because I have a title, those days are gone. And it's how do we work with people and partner with people and interact with people and energize people and create the environment for them to excel. That's where you can get the best from people.
And the key thing, too, is respect.
Oh, that respect is critical.
There's no respect.
You know, unless you have that professional respect. I mean, in the workplace, if you become friends, that's a bonus.
Yes.
But you're there to do the bidding of the organization. And in that, there must be what I call the up and down respect. So regardless of where you find yourself in an organization, my expectation is that there must be professional respect. We all come to the table with something different.
Yes.
And it's when we work cohesively with the same purpose on the same things, when we have the same intentions, then we're going to, have that excellence.
Now, how can people's lives in and out of the workplace be transformed through leadership training? Because it's amazing how this transcends into the home.
The leadership training is not just about the workplace. I would want to be a better leader as a father. I would want to be a better leader as a husband. My wife would want to be a better leader as a wife. Regardless of where you find yourself, once you're leading people, once you have that responsibility, there must be that challenge in your spirit. How can I get better at this? So leaders who decide, I want to level off, I think I've achieved, I've arrived, those leaders are not going to be effective. So we have to be constantly learning. How can I do this better?
Correct.
What worked 10 years ago is not going to work
today. I tell you. It seems as though it's changing by the week or monthly.
Maybe even
yes,
faster than
exactly.
that. So it's important that we spend the time learning. I mean, one of the things I used to enjoy, because I've been around the whole concept of leadership for a very long time. I used to love when I travel in business. There used to be this bookstore in the Miami airport. Many times I almost miss my flight as I'm trying to find what is the latest leadership book that you can get. So we have to put in the time for ourselves. And I think sometimes, you and I were talking off air earlier, sometimes there is that spirit of entitlement where we're constantly thinking the organization will be doing this for me.
Yes.
We have to invest
in
time
ourselves.
in our leadership development.
Yes.
In the same way that we invest in a number of other things. If you're a leader, you cannot level off. You have to invest resources, your personal time and financial resources into your development, or you're going to find that, around you is moving and you have become stagnant, and by extension you have become ineffective.
How do you deal with organizations where you know that you have a core set of staff and they're valuable, they're assets, but then there are one or two dead weights? It is what it is. It doesn't matter what you do with them. They're set in stone and not inclined to uplift themselves, to empower themselves, to educate themselves. Even if management send them, they come back being the same persons.
I'm gonna sort of start with the softer piece, and then I'm gonna move to the harder piece. I'm gonna give you an example of the harder piece in a while, but I believe that one of the things that we must do, instead of dealing with those individuals as a collective, we deal with them individually.
Okay.
I used to love to drop, in my previous roles as a senior leader, drop next to people individually and say, but let's journey together. Where are you at? What are you trying to achieve? How do you see yourself contributing to the whole? And I think that has a greater chance of achieving the objective that you want, as opposed to, I have 3 persons in this department not pulling their weight.
Right.
People, begin to withdraw. People will not give you their best in that context. But if you start to talk to them individually, just get to know people. That whole concept of drawing up alongside people is critical, because we don't know why people are behaving in the manner they are. And you could only do that if you spend the time. Get up from your desk, walk around your offices, let people get to know you, become vulnerable. One of the things that as leaders we must be able to do is show our vulnerability. People must know that we're human. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. What I'm saying is that we have to be able to empathize with others, and then people begin to trust us. And we'll talk about trust a little later on. And when that happens, then people begin to think, well, I'm part of this organization. If I don't give my 100%, then this impacts the organization negatively. Right. If you have done all that, if you have provided the platter of resources to your people, an old manager, HR manager of mine many, many years ago said to me, Mr. Williams, if you can't change the people, then you change the people.
Aye. Simple. If you can't change them.
Then you have to change them, because at the end of the day, you want to have your teams effective.
Yes.
And if they're not, if you're spending a lot of time trying to bring people along and they refuse to come along, then it's going to have a negative impact on what you're trying to do. On everybody else. It's going to pull the entire team down. And that is why I'm always of the view, start with the persons who are not performing, maybe change their tasks. Put them alongside somebody who is doing well, so that there is that buddy system, there is greater accountability, and you're going to start to see a difference. We must believe that every one of us has the potential to do great things.
How do you manage egos then?
And we all have them, don't we?
Oh, some of them are bigger than us.
Yeah. But the important thing here is recognizing that no matter how smart we are, no matter how great we are, no matter how many qualifications we have, what the experiences are, we could never achieve individually what we could achieve as the collective. And that is what we must bear in mind. I'm important in the context of the team and what we can achieve collectively.
Yes.
And when we put our heads together, we complement each other and we achieve more. We always achieve more together as a team than we do individually. So that will help us to put our ego in check and leave it at the door.
Thank you. You're in tune to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz as we put the spotlight in this, our second segment, on O.A. Williams Consulting. I'm pleased to be joined by Managing Director and Principal Consultant of O.A. Williams Consulting, Mr. Orman A. Williams. We'll be right back after these few messages.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Always be prepared and ensure your family is provided for. Cayman Insurance Center specializes in life, property, motor, health, and liability at the most competitive premiums and affordable rates on island. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 for life insurance or Denise Brown at 814-7229 for property insurance. Call them today for all your insurance needs.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Because you're mine, I walk the line. Well, I love
Country classics.
Young love, first love.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
in the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Preventing dengue is as simple as preventing mosquito bites. Use a mosquito repellent, wear protective clothing, and stay indoors during early dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Control the places around you where mosquitoes breed. Remove stagnant water in outdoor and household settings. As a weekly habit, persons should change the water in vases, clear the water in saucers under potted plants, and ensure air conditioner drip trays are free of stagnant water. Outdoor objects capable of holding water should be kept empty and preferably disposed of or put into dry storage if not used. These include open bottles and tins, watering cans, buckets, empty paint tins, and old vehicle tires. Do your part to control the spread of dengue. The dengue virus is an infectious disease transmitted through mosquito bites. Symptoms may come on as early as 4 days or as late as 3 weeks following an infection. There is no vaccine or specific medication to treat dengue. Symptoms of dengue include high fever, headache, pain behind the eyes, joint and muscle pain, and rash. If persons have any of these symptoms, they should go to the nearest health center or hospital. It is advised to drink lots of liquids and avoid medication that contains aspirin.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
It's all about O.A. Williams Consulting in this second segment of today's edition of the Business Buzz. Good morning. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner. O.A. Williams Consulting is a boutique consulting company which focus on leadership development, team excellence, and organizational performance. They are driven by the purpose of adding value and making a difference in people's lives. In studio, I'm pleased to be joined with Mr. Orman Williams, Managing Director and Principal Consultant at O.A. Williams Consulting. Now, where are you located, Mr. Williams?
So I'm still operating from home, and you have to start someplace, but that does not prevent me from being accessible.
Exactly.
One of the things that I'm really pleased about is the fact that we have built a very good website.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of information on our website, and it's O.A. Williams Consulting, www.oawilliamsconsulting.com. So there is a lot of information that people can get there. The emails come directly to me, and within a few minutes before the close of business, you will get a response.
Okay.
That is how we are operating right now.
Now, when you look at, let's just dabble a little bit in personal and professional coaching. You offer this service.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about why is personal and professional coaching in such high demand?
Well, organizations are recognizing that their employees must operate at their optimal level. And because as individuals, we have these busy lives, we need some help. Now, it is critical that we get to the point where we accept that we need some help. And you may not be able to get that help, that independent help within the organization. So somebody who is an external coach can come in and help the individual sort out for him or herself the issues that they're dealing with. And from themselves, come up with the solutions.
Right.
So a coach serves not to tell the individual what to do, but to help the individual answer the questions that they have in their minds. That's the real purpose of a coach. I mean, mentoring is different in that we journey in an opposite context, but the coaching piece is really to get to you and to ask you, Sabrina, so what are you trying to achieve here? What are the issues that you're dealing with? And what do you bring to the table? What are some of the strengths that you bring to the table? What are the concerns that you have? Those areas for improvement that you should be working on. And then together you have a plan. And you work that plan over a period of time to achieve those objectives. And unless sometimes, especially in the more senior levels of the organization, a professional coach is critical because you're dealing with competing demands. And it's how do you get someone to drop alongside you and to help you separate out some of those priorities so that you can focus on the things that are really important first and then circle around to those other things.
So how beneficial can it be for a business to sign up for the organizational performance services?
At the end of the day, all organizations are in the business of delivering results. Whether it's results to your owners or results to your shareholders or stakeholders, you're in the business of delivering results. And if you're not delivering those results, your existence is in jeopardy. So in a number of ways, you may not be performing. You may not be using all the resources at your disposal in a way that achieve the maximum output. It could be that you're in the wrong line of business. It could be that you have taken on too many responsibilities. And that's one of the things with smaller businesses as well. Sometimes we achieve some success and then we branch off to do something else. And we don't spend the time developing our core competencies and finding ways to achieve that competitive advantage. How do I differentiate myself? I just don't want to be different as an organization, but how do I differentiate myself? And that is very critical when you have other organizations delivering the same products and services. You need to sit down as an organization, and if you're going to be successful, ask yourself, what is going to be that differentiator compared to my friends up the street or somebody online who delivering the same service? And so the performance of the organization has to be done in a very sustainable manner. You can't be doing well this year, and for the next 2 years you're struggling.
Right.
That's going to put the organization in jeopardy. So how do we come in and help you to understand where are your pain points? What are the things that keep you up at night? If these things are not resolved, what would it look like? On the flip side, if you're able to address some of these pain points, what would success look like for you?
Right.
And we journey with you to achieve those objectives.
What type of companies do you usually cater to? Is it small, medium, or large?
With a country the size of ours, and with a new business the size of mine, we don't have the luxury of cherry picking. Certainly, I want to help small and medium-sized businesses. Large businesses have the capacity to go out and to get large competitors. But smaller businesses find it difficult to pay for those resources. So it's how do we offer good value to small and medium-sized businesses. That will be the focus. However, if a large business want to reach out to me today, Oy Williams Consulting is here to serve you as well.
That's right. Now, I believe your company recently had some workshops. What topics were covered at those workshops?
Well, one of the things that we did recently, we again, and that's in line with the purpose of the business, which is to add value, make a difference, and to help people develop their leadership capacity. And the focus of one of the workshops that we did recently was the 5 levels of leadership, helping people to understand where are you on these 5 levels, and and what else do you need to do to get to the next level? So you start out with level 1 as a position leader, and that's because you have a title. And then you move through the other levels to the pinnacle. That level is about almost is where you have that respect. People can't help but wanting to follow you. They're sort of knocking down the door to be on your team because you have not only produced, you have not only invested time, but because of what you represent, because of who you are. I say to people all the time, who you are is always more important than what you do.
Exactly.
Because of who you are, people recognize that and they want to pattern their own leadership after you. They want to pattern their lives after you. And so that was a useful seminar for the organizations that we were dealing with to help them understand their different levels of leadership. One level isn't bad, but certainly where you're trying to get to is to the pinnacle.
Right.
Where there is that respect that those around you have for you.
So in the narrow-mindedness of thinking, people then hate on you. They probably grudge you for you climbing your ladder, your success level.
Yes, and that happens.
And you think they hate you, but it's really not hate.
It's not
or
hate.
They grudge you.
It's really not that.
They're probably wishing they were you because you're making it happen.
And that is why, as I mentioned earlier, it is important that the leader is self-aware. You need to know where you are and what vibes you're giving off and how you're pulling people in.
Or pushing
people off.
Yes.
So you need to understand that. And part of being an effective leader is ensuring that you're also creating other leaders around you. You could never do it all, and you will not be here forever.
That's
so
right.
It's how do you create other leaders? I struggle sometimes when I see leaders being very selfish. They're holding on to knowledge
like
that they have.
They're going to be there forever. Hoarding.
They're going to be that hoarding.
Yes.
That is never an effective strategy. One, it compromises who you are as a leader, but equally, you're not in the process of creating a legacy. We must be creating legacies. When I'm gone from all this, people must say, Mr. Williams touched my life. He caused me to think about where I am, and he challenged me to be better. That is what this must be all about. How do we help someone else to get better? Because we could all get better. We could all achieve greatness. It's within us. How do we help each other to do that?
Now, there's an upcoming public workshop, Motivating Your Team, a leader top priority. Tell us more about that.
Oh, I'm excited about this. This is going to be next week. Wednesday, the 22nd of January, from 8:30 to 12:30. I'm conscious that we have limited time. So for 4 hours, we're going to take a deep dive into team motivation. And I don't want to give away all the material on air today.
You're only talking to me. It's just me.
Just you, Sabrina. Just you. But a leader is selling his or her business short if he or she is not focused on team motivation. As I mentioned earlier, you cannot get everything done by yourself. No matter how good you are as a leader, you need a group of people around you, and you need groups of people within the organization who will carry out the mandate of the organization. Those teams must be effective. The individuals must be effective, and then when they get together collectively, they must be even more effective. And it is that effectiveness that will secure the success of the organization. So that's what we're going to take a deep dive into next week. We're going to understand what motivation is all about. We're going to explore some theories around that. We're going to talk about ways to motivate a team, or whether or not you could actually motivate a team. I'm going to leave that right there.
Yes, please.
We will talk about some common pitfalls to avoid.
Right.
We're going to have some cases, some test cases, and the people who attend would be able to journey with those cases. And then they're going to practice with some tools that I'm going to leave with them, so that when they get back to their teams, there will be some nuggets that they will take away that will immediately help them to be more effective in their team context.
Now, what is the process like and requirements to sign up for your workshop?
Oh, we love to make things easy. www.oewilliamsconsulting.com, and you go to the events tab. Right in the events tab, you'll find the workshop details. And once you're there, the opportunity to register is also embedded in that page. Okay. You complete the details, and then you send that comes directly to me. Once I have that, I'll contact you to say your place is secure. Now we're going to be closing off the registration soon, because we just need to get those numbers, validated, for the preparation of the room and for the catering. So it's important that people register quickly.
What do you hope people take away with them if they, sign up and attend this workshop?
Well, the material is rich. People are gonna be able to come into that workshop, not only bring the concerns that they have and try to get solutions to some of those concerns, but because I'm going to create an environment where there is that cross-fertilization, people are coming from different organizations. Yes. They have different experiences. I'm going to create an environment for sharing. So this is, even though it is instructor-led, people will be doing some work. It's a workshop. That's why it is labeled that way. It's a workshop. They'll be doing some work. And I'm hoping that through that cross-fertilization, that sharing, that experience we'll have, that people will get some additional tools, get some additional information that will help them immediately. This is not postponing their satisfaction. By the time they go back to their offices after the 4 hours is done, they would be able to take some of these tools and start to make some changes in their organization.
How affordable is this workshop?
I love to look at these things as how do we ensure that we give people value. So I believe in the content that we have, and it's how do we ensure that leveraging my experience, because I bring that to the table, several years of that in senior leadership. How do I bring that along with the content and use the experiences of the persons who will attend? How do I ensure that they get good value? The cost is 200 CI, 240 US, and you're gonna be looked after properly. You'll ensure that your coffee breaks are in place, that you get what you need to keep refreshed. You get your hygiene stretches. For 4 hours, you'll be kept occupied.
How often do you anticipate your company will be offering workshops such as these?
There is a great demand for this quality of experience. There's some great organizations in the Cayman Islands doing some great work, but this space is not fully served. And so the content that O.A. Williams Consulting offers, there is a space for it. And my intention is to have these once a month. So I'm already beginning to think about the next couple of workshops and using social media, because that's where everything is happening. People will begin to see, save the date in February, save the date in March. Right. These things are coming down the pipe. And it's going to be topics that are relevant to people's lives as individuals, as employees, as supervisors and managers and leaders. I want people to take away something from every workshop that you come to. This is home. My responsibility here, as indeed all of us have a responsibility, is how do we make a difference, a positive difference in these islands? Right. And I don't plan to squander that responsibility at all.
You're listening to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz, and it's all about O.A. Williams Consulting. Speaking with Mr. Orman A. Williams, who's Managing Director and Principal Consultant at O.A. Williams Consulting. We'll be right back after these few messages.
Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a name with a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call.
If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we gonna put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, the business topics that matter, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. Business Buzz.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz, and we thank our kind sponsors of Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. Continuing my discussion with Mr. Orman Williams, hearing more about O.A. Williams Consulting, upcoming workshops, and just overall, we've spoken about the company's background, the various services that are offered, leadership. And, we also learned about the courses, and now we dabbled in a little bit about cost, but we want you to follow him on his social media platforms as well, because it doesn't end here. It does not. The workshop coming up on January 22nd at the Westin Resort, that is called Motivating Your Team, a leader's top priority, takes place on January 22nd from 8:30 until 12:30. That's not it. He plans to do one every month moving forward. And you want to keep into the loop, definitely, by following him on his social media pages. Now let's talk about why should companies encourage their employees to participate in these workshops?
Well, in particular, let's look at the one that is coming up next week, and it focuses on team motivation. When a team is not performing effectively, when they're not optimizing their performance, it's a cost to the organization. Mm-hmm. And leaders that don't recognize that a non-performing team, a dysfunctional team is a cost, really need to wake up to that reality. You can actually measure it. If you have a case of lack of communication and there is ongoing conflict in the team, if there is absenteeism, if people have withdrawn from the organization, they're present, but they're really not there. Mm-hmm. If people are not working together effectively, that's a cost. You can measure that. And that is taken away from the productivity and from the financial results of the organization. Mm-hmm. If you accept that, like me, then you want to do something about it. And it's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen if you leave your team members to themselves, if you leave your employees to themselves. You have to invest in your employees. There is that, you see it ever so often. People complain, if we don't employ, if we don't train people and they stay, what does that look like? Because there is always a concern, but you invest in people and then they get another job and they leave. But suppose you don't train them and they stay and they work with you, your organization will never achieve the results that it was designed to achieve or it is capable of achieving. So the premise of this workshop is that a dysfunctional team, a team that is not performing effectively, a team that is not achieving all that it could achieve, is a cost to the organization. However, because people would be the best assets for the organization. We could have all the technology we want. People would always be the organization's best assets. You have to invest in your people. But I also want to challenge individuals. Don't wait for your organizations to invest in you. One of the things that I have loved to do over the years is to invest in my own leadership development. Right. And so find the time, invest in yourself, and then go to your employer and say, listen, I've done this. Do you want to support me? Okay, you can't support me this one. O.A. Williams Consulting will be having several other workshops, one a month. Maybe you need to reach out and see, what else I can do with them, or what, as an organization, we can do with them. Because this workshop that we're offering is not only at the Westin. We can come in-house and we can do it as well. One organization has reached out to me to say we have maybe 10 persons that we want exposed to this material. We can't send them. Yeah. I can come in and I can do that work within, inside the organization. So if you're struggling to send people out because you can't have everybody off site at the same time, delighted to join you wherever you are and to do the same workshop inside. And that is going to apply to the same, in the same way to all the workshops that we have. We are saying that it's either a cost to the organization if people are not functioning effectively, whether teams or individuals. And if it is not a cost, then we can help people achieve the next level.
Right.
And when that happens, everyone benefits.
Now, in the climate of today's society, being a business owner, an employee, a manager, CEO, it comes with its own set of challenges. Even the human resources department, the role that they play within an organization. You may have businesses who are micro business that don't have all of those different departments and it's a one-man show. How are you able to just create that balance but yet still maximize understanding finance, cost of operations, just life in itself? How do you create that balance to maximize still productivity of your staff?
And that's an excellent question, Sabrina. A couple of answers I'll want to trot it. The first thing is that I think we need to get better at partnering with each other. So how does a group of 5 small businesses get together, pool resources to access some of these supporting services? So that's one way I think we just cannot do this alone. Because the world around us isn't waiting for us to catch up. The world isn't saying, well, you're a small business, you have a set of lower standards to achieve. It is expecting small businesses and medium-sized businesses to function as if they were large businesses.
Exactly.
So small businesses have to pool their resources together to access supporting services, whether it's accounting or services that my organization would offer. We can come in and we can help you with that. So that's one of the first things that I'd want to suggest. The other thing is that small businesses in particular need to really become part of something larger, whether it's an association or a chamber, because there's services that will be offered in those organizations at a cheaper cost because they're catering to a larger cadre of organizations. But the leaders themselves need to reach out. They need to put their hands up and say, I need help. I need help. I think sometimes pride gets in the way.
Yeah.
We think that we're Superman and Superwoman and we can do this. You need to say, I need help. Even with my business, there's certain things that I recognize, Williams, you don't have the skills to do.
Right.
So initially when we were setting up the website, I've never set up a website before. I had to reach out to a consultant.
Yes.
And that individual was able to help me set the website out. Of course, the content came from me. I was able to input in the process as a leader should do. But you have to put your hand up and say, I need help. Unless you do that, you're going to struggle.
Yes.
The world is moving too fast for you to go it alone.
Yes.
But we're here to help. And, just reach out to us.
What fuels your mission to assist people and organizations to reach their optimal potential?
Oh, I believe it's this whole thing called purpose. I believe that my divine purpose is to make a difference in people's lives, a positive difference in people's life. I keep saying that all of us are here not by accident. We are here and we all have a purpose. And I always challenge people to find out what that purpose is very early in life, because you have all those years to live satisfying that purpose, as opposed to stumbling into your purpose at 80. When it's a little bit late at 80.
Yes.
Not impossible to serve at that time, but a bit late. So I strongly believe that my divine purpose is to help make a difference in people's lives, to add value to people, and to help in a particular way to develop the leadership capacity in individuals and within organizations. That keeps me up. That keeps me going. That's the fuel that I run on. But there is also something else. As an expatriate here, we have called these islands our home for several years. I believe that we have a responsibility to help our fellow Caymanians to grow to the next level. And the way I put it is that you can't suck up the oxygen and leave the place bare.
Yes.
You know, how do we all work together in a small place as this and really get some great things done? The Cayman Islands, we're the place where great things can happen because we have some brilliant minds here. No one should be left behind. No Caymanian should be left behind. And that has been my passion over the years. In my most recent employment, the people that I've worked with will tell you that. It's how do we get Caymanians to the next level, to the next several levels. That must be our responsibility. And I'm really passionate about that. And, you know, that is what has kept me going over these many years here, but long before I got here as well.
Now, does O.A. Williams Consulting collaborate with any other international companies to, you know, as it pertaining to people development, personal development?
You know, Sabrina, we are really proud to be associated with two international companies. The first is Wiley. People will know Wiley if you go through your library at home or the books that you have at home or right here in the studio. You will see a number of books published by Wiley. Wiley has been in the research and publishing space for over 200 years. They're big on education. That's one of my passions as well. I'm big on education, and so we are the authorized partner for Wiley in the Cayman Islands. We have access to a solution called Everything Disc, and that's a personality profile system. It's very adaptive, and what it does, it helps you to understand your personality and your behaviors, but equally it helps you to understand the personality and behaviors of your colleagues. So in a team, I could know, well, Sabrina is so this is the way I interact with her.
Right.
You will know that I'm and this is the way you interact with me, because conflict comes when we don't understand each other.
Correct.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. The other organization that we're really honored to serve and to be a partner for here is Franklin Covey. And I don't know if there is anybody on Ireland who would not have heard about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That book has been around for 30 years since last year. This year, in the spring, they are updating the book. It was written by Stephen Covey, and Sean, his son, is writing some insights, all they have learned over these 30 years.
Wow.
So people need to look for that book. We, O. Williams Consulting, we are the exclusive Franklin Covey partner for the Cayman Islands. Okay. So anything that people are touching with Franklin Covey needs to come through us.
Okay.
We would know about it. And between those two organizations, we have access to a ton of material, and this is material that has been tested, that has been tried, it is proven. Franklin Covey and Wiley are investing billions of dollars every year in research and development.
Excellent.
So they're all around the world. And so I have every confidence in the material that we have to deliver to the Cayman Islands.
Well, Mr. Williams, you're definitely captivating. And I know for those who are viewing and who are listening to us via the airwaves have definitely been inspired and encouraged and to know about all the services that you offer. But I'll give you this opportunity to recap on some of the key points, and especially the upcoming workshop and others. How can persons get additional information if they so desire about the products and services that you offer, and again, key takeaways of what you'd want people to take away from this morning's discussion?
Well, certainly one of the things that I want to say is that leadership is critical to take organizations forward. And I'm using the word organizations loosely, whether it's your family, it's your church, because this is not just about businesses. It could be that churches need help with this kind of material as well. Small businesses, medium-sized, large businesses, wherever you are, everything rises and falls on the quality of the leadership that you have. And this is not just about the technical qualities or people's educational ability. I'm talking about what else do they bring to the table, the empathy, the integrity, the honesty, all those things. They have the ability to cast a vision, the ability to bring people alongside them, to get that buy-in early, how they communicate, that two-way process, how they listen, how they're introspective, how they know what else do I need to do in my life as a leader. that self-awareness, and how they ensure that we, as leaders, we are leaving a legacy behind. We are touching lives, we are making a difference, we are transforming the societies in which we live. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is that O.A. Williams Consulting, we're not offering any cookie cutter approaches. Whenever I get a call from a potential business owner or a senior leader, I want to sit with you. I want to understand your business. And then we tailor our services around what you need. Because at the end of the day, this is not about a transaction. This is not about making a quick buck and running. Mm-hmm. We want to see organizations transformed, and we want to see individuals transformed. So we spend time, understanding who you are and what you're trying to achieve, the pain points that you have, and then we go from there. And lastly, I'm excited about the workshop next week. It looks at team motivation. We contend that a dysfunctional team is a cost to the organization. However, because people are so critical to what we're trying to achieve, we must be intentional about what we do to get people to the next level. Right. And this workshop on team motivation is going to help you achieve that.
Well, Mr. Williams, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. It has been a pleasure having you on Radio Cayman, and more so showcased on the Business Buzz, and we want to wish you continued success.
Thank you, and so, I really appreciate the fact that you have reached out and that I've been able to spend some time with you, Sabrina. This has been truly a blessing, and I wish you well.
And trust me, thank you so much. It's both ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure speaking with Mr. Orman Williams and hearing more about O.A. Williams Consulting. Again, he's you can look him up on his website. That's at oawilliamsconsulting.com, or you can send him an email, oawilliamsconsulting.com as well. It has been a pleasure hosting with you this morning. We want to thank our producer, Ms. Susan, doing an excellent job, and we want to thank our sponsors. Without you, it would not be possible. That's Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. I'm your host, Sabrina Turner, and I invite you to join me again on Thursday for another Business Buzz. Have a safe and fabulous Tuesday.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice. For today's biggest news.
Access to information.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team. Today's biggest news.
The Alex Panton Foundation has announced that its 3rd annual Youth Mental Health Symposium is scheduled for February 22nd at the Ritz-Carlton. The half-day symposium will focus on the theme Empowering Youth, Inspiring Hope.